Commissioner, welcome back to Power Play. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me, Mike.
So you were in full-day meetings yesterday, meeting with Mr. Homan. You're meeting with the FBI director as well. How'd they go?
Yeah, we had several meetings, and Minister of Public Safety had meetings planned in Washington, and sometimes he'll ask for his operational folks, myself and the President of CBSA, to participate in these meetings so we can give the operational perspective of what's going on. Very excellent meetings. It's not about building partnerships, because we do have good, solid partnerships. I met, as you just mentioned, the FBI director. He was newly appointed, so he was able to squeeze 50 minutes out of his busy schedule, so just we can sit down. We have an excellent partnership with the FBI, and just want to reinforce that and congratulate him on the job.
What indications did you have coming out of those meetings that what Canada is doing is meeting the bar for them?
Well, we're both of us are concerned. There's traffic going north to south and south to north, and we don't want that. And the key here, Mike, is interoperability and working together. We want to pick it up a notch even higher when it comes to sharing technology, making sure that it's better coordination, better sharing of the intel picture when it comes not only to the border, but the fentanyl, which ties into all this, and how do we work together on this? Because I was with USBP this morning. They don't want to see anything coming south, and we don't want to see anything coming north, so it's a matter of working together. And really, we have embeds with the USBP, and things are going well, so it's really working together on a shared problem.
But when you are presenting the facts as we see them from the Canadian side, i.e. how much is actually going south and how much we are stopping at our border from going into the United States, and there's a chart that was very clear that Minister Miller posted on social media yesterday, saying that, you know, what is coming from Canada is less than 1%. How are they reacting to those facts in those meetings? Well,
I'm not. The 1%, less than 1%, has been mediatized several times, and that's the statistics that we've had. But I would say that we have to look at even small amounts that are going south is too much. One single dose can kill someone.
But do they agree on those facts at the basis? Do they, when you present that information to them, do they smile and nod, or do they say, yeah, this looks right, we agree with you?
Well, they know that the southbound from north to south is not as high as what is sometimes reported. So, and there's even reports from USBP on that situation where they're not seeing that flow north to south. Mind you, the report I think dates from last year, but they're just not seeing that.
And so they're not disputing those facts?
No one's disputed it verbally, openly, to talk to, like, you're wrong or right. So
when you come out of those meetings, do you have the sense that what Canada is doing in terms of law enforcement may be fruitful and may help on the political side? Because I know that that's not in your wheelhouse, but do you think that that will help Canada in terms of earning that reprieve on tariffs?
I think it'll help Canada, but it also helps us tell our story to our U.S. counterparts as to exactly what we're doing, what we want to do, and what we're doing, and success that we've been having. Like, we've been at this. If you look at the fentanyl, we've been at this for quite some time. Since 2018, law enforcement in Canada has dismantled 47 labs. Right? So it just demonstrates to the Canadian public and to the Americans that we've been working on this, and we still continue to work on it. And then you had the fentanyl sprint that we did from December to January with really good results.
And part of those results, just over 47 kilograms of fentanyl seized, nearly 16,000 pills and other synthetic opioids. How much of that do you understand may have been destined for the United States?
So when we go through an investigation, our labs and whatnot, there's not a lot of intel to indicate that the substance is actually going down south. The president of CBSA, Aaron O'Gorman, had mentioned in the past that couriers, mail, those are some of the means that are being used for small quantities, and they've done some excellent work with Project Blizzard, which I encourage you to look it up. But they've done some excellent work there. So we're not seeing that, and that's why it's important for us, as I mentioned, to work together. We want to make sure that we can map out the intelligence that we have and get the proper picture and see who's best positioned to attack it.
How do you continue to do that now? I mean, I know you were talking about the money yesterday, that half of the $1.3 billion that the government has earmarked is going to the RCMP. how you now try and deploy this as effectively as possible and as quickly as possible, given that, as you had mentioned even yesterday before your meetings, that you're not getting it all in one fell swoop. It's not like you can spend all this money right out of the gate. So how do you make sure that you are getting the most bang for your buck as quickly as possible because the issue is so pressing? So
we prioritize everything that we need to purchase, and as I think in 2 weeks' time we should have the new drones coming in, new equipment that we have. In our ask is also mobile radar towers that we want, but we're going to prioritize at the areas that our intelligence is indicating the highest volume of people who are trying to cross either northbound or southbound.
Going back to Operation Blizzard, the fact that we found 47 kilograms of fentanyl in all of those pills, does that make you believe that the problem is actually bigger in Canada than you had originally thought?
No, this is not Operation Blizzard. This is a fentanyl sprint.
Oh, that's the sprint.
Okay. The Blizzard is CBSA.
Sure.
But I don't think that we could categorize it. It's as big as we didn't know it was this big, and it'd be hard to quantify how big it is. We've been working on it, and the thing that we are doing right now, and this is why we propose a strike force, is really to have a strike force on the Canadian side, but also integrated with the Americans, so that these teams, their sole purpose, the objective of these teams is just to target fentanyl, and not have sections that will look at different commodities such as cocaine or meth. These teams will be dedicated at looking for fentanyl.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Not only the fentanyl that is being produced, but the precursors that are coming into the country. And let's face it, when it gets to the border, there's something that happened before that, right? There's precursors, there's manufacturers that have been done. So we got to get to the front end of that.
Part of the issue with that is staffing, and we know that when you were first appointed in 2023, you said that's the thing that keeps you up at night. There are reports now that there's significant vacancies in the RCMP in both Saskatchewan and Manitoba. The last time you were here on Power Play, you were telling my colleague Vashi Kapelos that one of the issues that you're going to have in deploying more people to the border is that you have to take them from somewhere else. Now when you consider what we are seeing in Saskatchewan and Manitoba, where does that leave you for staffing across the country? So you're correct with the statement with regards to Saskatchewan and Manitoba. What took place is that in our recruiting process, the former process, we would ask anybody, an applicant, we'd ask an applicant as to where, they'd have to sign a dotted line and go anywhere in Canada. Right. The average age cadets going through our academy is about 29 years old. And I didn't think that in 2023 it was fair to have someone, sometimes who has families, who's supporting loved ones, who has a family physician, would be told at the last 3 months in that where they're going. The generation is not like that. So what we did is we removed that clause that you would be willing to serve anywhere. Right. And what happened, Mike, is that year, 2023, we had, I think it's around 17,000 applicants, the highest number in the last 10 years. What it did, yes, we had challenges in Saskatchewan, Manitoba, but we have plans in place. We've reached out to different members across the country who want to go and work there on a part-time basis or help out, and that's working out well. I met with the minister, the new minister appointed at Public Safety in Saskatchewan. They're looking at different plans, so we are addressing it. But the world of policing, to get to your second point, where you get the resources, the world of policing, the priorities are forever shifting. You look at the hate crime that popped up over the last several years. Every law enforcement, major cities, had to readjust their footprint because of all the demos that were popping up. So these priorities, it's a matter of balancing the public safety and addressing the priorities that exist. I understand that, but that still means that you, as a commissioner, have to shift resources to a place and leave another place, not to say empty, but certainly less policed than maybe where a community needs it. So how do you do that, especially considering that it doesn't take 10 seconds to train a police officer, especially an RCMP officer? How do you make sure that you are having that kind of coverage everywhere, especially with the pressing need at the border?
I go back, Mike, to it's that delicate balance of ensuring public safety and addressing the priorities. Could you remove everybody from a detachment without having an impact? I don't think so. What is that number that you could perhaps remove temporarily to address another priority, but then bring them back? So it's a balancing act.
So how do you increase the recruitment, and is that money going to go into human resources more than technology? Some
of it's going into human resources, because as you can appreciate with the purchase of drones, you will need people to operate the drones. You will need a command center where all that information is funneled in and can be assessed, collected and assessed, and returned to the field if required. But there's a mixture of technology and obviously human resources.
Okay, we're going to have to leave it there. Our CMP Commissioner, Mike Duham, thank